Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's been a while that I've gone live and interviewing the people, and today I have a very special person on for you. And wherever you are in the world, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, today is Friday. And for you, it might be the last day you're at work. It might be you've already started the weekend, or it might be that you're preparing for your summer holiday. Whatever it is, just take a couple of minutes to reflect on this week or these past few weeks. What went well, and what are you most proud of? I asked this question last night during a call to other entrepreneurs, and I got the same response that I've gotten many times before. People looking at, what am I proud of? Oh, what did I do this week? And that is a very normal response. Our brain has a negativity bias. So what we remember is those things that did not go well, that did not go as expected. So we really need to train ourselves and our brain to connect with what went well, because there always is something. And what are you most proud of? So I'm challenging you today to think back on these past 7 days or even longer. What went well, and what are you most proud of? And I would love it for you to share this with us so we can celebrate with you, because how cool is that? So today I'm chatting with Greg Garrity. Greg is international speaker, coach, and pioneering social entrepreneur. Now, I don't know about you, but I am curious about the pioneering social entrepreneur. So I'm going to see if I can get him on the broadcast so he can tell us what he does on a day-to-day basis. Greg, it says adding. I'm hoping to get you on. Let's hope that technology and Facebook like us today. And there he is! Hello. Yeah? I'm hoping I can hear.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. How
are you? I'm very well, thank you.
are you? Good to see you.
Hello from across the water.
Yeah, from across the small pond. And we have Stephen Conway from Heavenly Chocolate. Stephen, I'm still enjoying the chocolate very much.
Yeah, Stephen, I haven't received anything you've sent me. No, I'm joking. I've eaten it. So send me some more.
Yeah, Stephen, send us some more chocolate. We love your chocolate. So, Greg, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Very
And
well,
what
thank you.
makes it very well?
I've been very busy. Lots of things happening. As you know, I'm running a new project with the idea of providing 24-hour, 7-day support for people who are lonely and isolated. And I've been having some very good meetings this week with international people who are wanting to take my ideas and back them.
Wow. Wow, that is cool.
Isn't it?
Yeah, that's so cool.
Whoo!
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow. So just before you got on, I asked the viewers, whether they're watching live or on the replay, to just take a couple of minutes and reflect on the past week and answer two questions. What went well this week? And what are you most proud of?
hmm
What would your answers be?
Okay. What went well this week? Um, wow, lots of things have gone well this week. I suppose the meeting I had yesterday was the thing that I would say went the wellest, the most well, the best, because I met this person. I was introduced by a third party, and obviously we both heard a little bit about each other. So sitting down to actually talk, um, it went incredibly well, and we were on the same page on so many things. And the thing I'm proud of actually was the thing. I've met this gentleman. I can't give you his name at the moment.
No
Sorry,
worries.
he's a very impressive man, and has done an awful lot of things. So I'm sat there talking to him, and I suppose the thing I'm proudest of, even though most people struggle with this in the Western world, I was proud of the fact that he was impressed by what I was doing and wanted to be involved with me.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of validation I think we sometimes lack as entrepreneurs. We like to say we've got the best idea in the
Yeah.
world, and we might think we've got the best idea in the world, but we don't know it is until we look into other people's eyes and they're going, "That's the best idea in the world."
Yeah, absolutely. I
And
totally
you're
get
then
that.
like, "I can do this. I can do this."
I know, I
Yeah,
know, I know. I masterminded with a friend of mine who's a social entrepreneur, and she wants to change the world. She has a very, very big mission, and she has achieved some amazing results. But when you talk to her, it's like, no, it's just my work. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You're doing something for a group of people, and she targets people with a distance to work. So whether it's
yeah,
be because they've got a mental issue or a physical issue, whatever it is, or they were imprisoned, which is a big issue as society. Amanda, wonderful to see you on this interview. Cool. And she literally said, I want to grow. I want to help more people. I want to enlarge my impact. We got a couple of friends together and we masterminded, and literally within, I think, about 45 minutes, we got her plan, and she's going to launch a physical location in The Hague on December 1st.
fantastic, fantastic.
I talked to her yesterday, and I was like, how are you? She said, I'm still in awe. I think this is really going to happen. And I'm like, yeah, we get it done. If you want to get it done, we'll get it done for you. So I totally get that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing.
No, good things. I mean, one of the things we're looking at, one of the things to help us going forward in terms of creating better communities. We're developing a social tool, and we'll actually be sending the social tool out. It's a test, and we'll actually be sending that out to thousands of people in the near future. And it's a serious piece of scientific work. The results that we use will be used credibly to build projects globally.
Yeah.
So it's just amazing
Yeah,
times.
cool, cool, cool. Now, I know a little bit about you and what you're trying to achieve and what you're doing on a day-to-day job. People who are watching right now or on the replay might think, what does he do? So share a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so what does he do?
Yeah, I have no idea. Besides eating chocolate.
Okay, so I have a vision, and I'm building a global movement to unite the world's greatest thought leaders, collaborating creatively to make the social changes necessary for our global community. So the underlying principle is to end loneliness and isolation. The big picture view is, by doing that, it will send a ripple effect up through society and upscale many of the people that currently live in a destitute fashion socially, and people with mental health issues. It will raise the game. It will raise society, and that's my big picture. So my initial vision is that we run a number of different pilot projects based on innovative thinking and social care delivery. So that's where I'm at the minute. You know, we have a model. We have a model in the UK, in Holland, in the States for social care, and it's not working. It's broken.
Yeah.
It's patently broken. And the only thing that politicians usually come back to you with is, well, I'll take a little bit of budget from here to increase that budget there, or I'll increase this number of staff, or I'll change the colour of the stationery from blue to orange. It's all superficial, and the bottom line is the people that are needing the care, the support, the physical human contact are still not getting it. They're getting the same number of minutes per day where they might need an hour. You know, I mean, look at the way we're even talking about this. You know, we'll give you minutes a day contact. Imagine if this conversation with you and I now was the only contact you were going to have today with another human being.
Yeah. I'd be instantly depressed.
It's not real. It's not real.
Right.
You know, and most people who work with professionals that are paid for by the local government might get to see someone for this amount of time a day, or even less. A pop in visit, 15 minutes, where you can see the person that's actually doing the visit has already moved on mentally because they're 5 minutes behind from the last visit, and they've got to get to the next person because they're going to panic.
Yeah.
You know, these are the things that have got to change. These are the systems that we have to destroy and rebuild totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's what I'm doing with the pilot projects I've designed, because obviously I've successfully built and delivered a number of different care systems. So I'm coming at this from a position of experience of both sides of the fence, and the systems I've designed, I believe, cost less to run, impact the people more, and save lots of money in the long run.
Absolutely.
In terms of wasted resources that are looked at as part of the normal budget now, like wasted ambulance runs, doctors out of hours time, district nurses, things like that. I can cut the budgets on those with fairly precise accuracy, just based on the existing results, experimental results.
Yeah.
People know, we know what motivates people. We know what destroys people. We know what makes them flourish. So why the hell aren't we using those skills?
Well, we can shake hands because, as you know, it's exactly what I do. The knowledge is already out there. We know what tools and strategies work, but there is something that's holding people back from using them, and it's killing me. It's literally killing me. I'm thinking, why are you struggling? Why are you suffering? Because it doesn't have to be that way at all.
Yeah. I think people, unfortunately, we are creatures of habit, and unless we see a change around us, we don't think about joining in. No. A lot of people struggle to be the change. So it's up to, you know, one of the things I'm using with this social tool for is to actually find the people that are willing to make the change.
Yeah.
Because that's all we're going to have to do. We're going to have to build this in a way whereby we coordinate the change until we have a tipping point where your average man or woman in the street goes, oh, we're doing it like this now. That's nice.
Yeah.
Because that's literally all it'll be. Yeah. It won't be any massive revolution. People just go, oh, we're not ignoring that homeless person anymore. We're looking after them. Okay, I'm on it.
Exactly. No, I totally get it.
And they will do it without.
I know. I've done change management processes in large organizations, and most of the attention and energy goes to those who just say, I'm not going to do it. We've always done it this way, and I'm not going to play along. And I literally, a couple of weeks ago, just shifted one of the managers' head by saying, you're spending way too much time because you've spent about 45 minutes talking about one person who's probably not going to budge at all, no matter what you do. What about that 1%, or maybe it's 10% in your organization that's already doing it and thinking, where are you? Support us, because that group will get the next group behind them going with them instead of going backwards. But
that's
we're
right.
used to focusing on those that say no. We're thinking we need to convince you to join us, or we need to seduce you to join us. Well, I'm thinking I'm not going to do that. I'm going to support those who are already doing it, because that will go further faster.
Our whole society suffers from a lack of trust.
Yeah.
If we could turn that around and actually say, do you know what? Why don't we try trusting people? And if they prove to be trustworthy, let's carry on. Yeah. Not say, no, we can't trust them because they're not trustworthy.
Yeah.
If you say someone's going to behave miserably, like a child or an animal, chances are they will, because you're expecting them to, and they recognize that. Yeah. You know, you need to give people responsibility. It's like the benefit system. People who are on benefits, they've got to prove they spend all of their time looking for work. They've got to prove they've not made any money. They've got to prove they're miserable and jobless. before they get the next payment? How about them proving that they're just, how about they're, or even still, how about they don't have to prove anything? They just, the money is just their right to survive.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So these are big visions, and we like big visions, but it also means that we're in a bubble of all people with big visions and wanting to change the world. Who do you, as a person, need to be able to keep going on these huge numbers in changing the world?
I have to be somebody that wants to help people. That's the way I have to look at this the whole time. No, I don't have to go in and look at people and say, do they deserve this, or can they afford this, or their attitude's wrong for this. I just have to know that what I am doing is helping people. Even when I'm having meetings with other people that are fighting me, or not, maybe not as strong as that, but are working against me, I know that what I'm doing is still changing opinions, and because it's changing opinions, it's changing lives. Because that's what most of this is about. It's not a money issue. There is enough money to go around. It's the fact that our attitudes are still based on things that were set up 100 years ago, like education. You know, we're running on an educational system that is out of date. Even the, you know, my kids excelled in the education system, but that they were lucky. They're well rounded. It's not just they're just academic, but there are so many children that are, and young people that are not academic. They're more practically based, or they're more emotionally based.
Yeah.
We don't do anything for them. We don't give them anything on the curriculum at the moment
No.
that allows them to flourish. So they step out into society thinking they're not successful, or they've yet to find their passion. Whereas their passion's been obvious all the way along. It's just not been allowed to flourish.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's you know that's excuse
Yeah.
me.
No worries.
That's one of the things we've got to look at. Taking society back down to basics to bring it back up again. Children, we're not teaching the children to be the adults we want them to be.
Yeah.
We've got badly educated adults, and adults with poor social skills, because socialized skills, because of their experience or whatever, that are creating mini-me's with their children. We have to break that. We have to provide a service whereby we work with the children and adults together, or even play with the children and the adults together, so they realize there is a future.
Yeah.
And it's a future worth working for.
Yeah. So what I've learned is that what we think determines what we feel, and what we feel determines how we get into action. So what are some of the
Yes.
thoughts, or what is some of your mindset around you still getting up every morning, tackling these big things? I mean, the educational system, the social system, they're huge, and they've been around for quite some time. So how does someone think, or what do you do to keep yourself going each and every day and not think it's too big, I can't do this?
Okay, so I'm not a robot.
No.
And there are times when I do say, this is too big, I can't do this. But the way I get back on the horse, as it were, is by visualizing how life could have been different for people that I love. So both my parents were very ill. I ended up caring for my parents. And I've basically gone through an experience, or range of experiences, that thousands of adults of my age and younger are currently going through. There aren't many people who themselves or their partner or their sibling are not looking after an aging or unwell parent. So we're all going through it, and the longer it takes me to get this stuff sorted, the more pain they're going through. And also, the more isolated people are losing the will to live or becoming victims of dementia purely because they're not stretching their brain.
Yeah.
There's nothing for them to do. They're just living like hamsters in a cage. So it's
You don't do
we
it.
have to change it. We have to change it. Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's
if
got
you
to be
don't
done.
do it, if you don't get up, nothing changes. You don't want to live in a world or have a world created for the younger generation where this is still an issue, I guess.
That's right. That's right. Because the old saying of if I don't do it, who will? I know that might sound very arrogant, but at the end of the day, it hasn't been done.
No.
I'm not some little dictator or little god that's wants to change the world completely. I'm just a person that is looking and seeing the fact that no one else has picked up the baton to run with it. So if I don't, who will?
Yeah.
If I do, someone else will with me.
Yeah. Yeah. It,
And that's the only way I can see
yeah.
it.
It takes one person to
If I,
start
yeah,
to create a movement.
that's right.
Brilliant. Brilliant.
And the faster we start, the faster we get to the tipping point, and that's when it all changes.
Brilliant. So share with the viewers or those of you who are watching on the replay some of your practices to stay resilient, to get up every day.
Okay, so the first thing I do when I get up, I go through, I sit down with my journal, and I go through the meetings I had the day before in my head. And I don't look at the notes from those meetings. I rewrite my thoughts on those meetings. So they're obviously the key points that have come out. And some of them are the same as the notes from the day before. Some of them are completely different. Now my mind's had overnight to work on them. But they're the ones I take note of. They're kind of like latent things that I've noticed unconsciously or whatever, or sort of popped up. I then spend 20 minutes, half an hour, actually reading something uplifting. And I don't just mean like something about unicorns and rainbows. I mean reading about somebody or a situation that has been changed radically. Whether it's a headmaster who's taken over a school in New York and turned it from a like the Wild West to somewhere where people are starting to get good grades, or whether it's someone who's taken on like the local water board and made it less wasteful and more profitable. It doesn't really matter. It's about reading the fact that there are people in the world with the same passion for different things.
Yeah.
But their passion is improvement and change, because so many people don't like change.
Yeah.
And they don't like they fear change because change has been fearful for them in the past. Whereas change is perfectly natural, and all we have to do is get into the idea that change is natural.
Yeah.
So I have a couple of appointments throughout the day, and I try and vary what I do on a day-to-day basis. So I don't prescribe to the from 9 to 11 I'll be writing, and then appointment at 11 and blah blah blah. I try and swap it about all the time because I get bored easily. If I've got a routine, that feels like a job.
Yeah.
Even though if you know it's just me, it feels like a job if I'm doing the same thing at the same time every day. So I try and swap it about and keep the ideas fresh. So I don't just want to be having conversations with people about how bad a service is. I want to be having conversations about how good it could be. How could we make it? And I think that spills over into life as well. So whether you're talking to friends or children or spouse, as you know, Sammy's very solution oriented. All of our conversations are about solutions, not problems. And I think it's by, if you don't do that naturally, then please try and get into that habit, because you will find it opens up your world exponentially.
Yeah. Well, I like,
you don't sit there worrying about problems. You sit there going, oh, how can I solve that? And by actually solving it, A, it becomes not a problem anymore, so it's not a stress. But B, you've also come up with a potential solution for a number of other things. It makes you more effective a human being. It makes you more effective as a coach, makes you more effective as a business person.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What I love about that is that how you start your day will determine the successfulness of your day. Basically, how you feel at the end of the day.
Yeah,
And there is research that says even watching the news, and most of the news is negative, for 3 minutes in the morning, and most of us did that. We switch on the radio or the television while we're on breakfast or showering, or whatever we're doing, and getting that input through unconsciously is even worse. Will impact, and they've done the research, 6 or 7 hours later, you will report that day as being depressed and unhappy for you. No matter what you did, that could have been uplifting or great or an absolute wonderful experience, because you watched the news 3 minutes in the morning, that impacted your mood for the rest of the day. And you will report that day as unhappy. So your practice, actually reading or watching an uplifting story, someone who's been through struggle but got out of it, and the other side as better, as have grown, will set you up for a great day. So I love that you shared that practice. And the second thing that you shared is we can, wherever our attention goes, that will expand, that will grow. So if we're focusing on problems and only talking about problems, even the smallest problem, by the end of the 20-minute conversation or even longer, in my experience, that will become a huge problem that everyone at the table says we can't solve this at all. And it started as this.
Yeah.
So let's shift that and let's talk about how can we solve the problem, or who can we call, or can we get help from to help us solve this problem. Is a way better practice, but it's not what we're used to, and you need to train that. So I love that you shared that too. We have another Garrity on the call.
Oh,
James.
Which one? Ooh.
Ooh.
He's awake. He's awake early.
Yeah, he is. It is. So what's your next big project or pilot? What are you doing?
So, well, interestingly enough, I suppose the next thing I'm doing, I'll be doing a detailed business plan for the first pilot project now, in preparation for potential funding. So that's going to take probably a couple of weeks to nail that down and make sure we've got that right. And after that, well, I'm still knocking out the book.
I was not going to
I'm still working on the
all.
manifesto. No, well, that's fine. I've set myself. I have an online summit in November, and I will be launching the book at that online summit. So yeah, fair bit of work to do on the book, but I'm doing that in between. That's going to stop me going insane from just doing the business plan for the first pilot.
I love it. For those of you who are watching and thinking, what is he talking about? Greg is writing a book, and has been writing a book for a very long time. And I've been challenging to launch the book before I launch my next book. So we're competition-wise. So I'm really happy to hear that you're going to launch it in November. I'll be the first one to celebrate with you.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Amazing. Well, what do you want to share with the viewers? Because as you know, my focus is on, you have the person, you have the business owner, but everything you think, feel, and do as a person will spill over in your business. What are your top 3 tips for entrepreneurs and business owners on working on themselves and not only working on the business?
Okay, I don't know if I can give you 3, but the biggest one that I have is the idea. Again, I think I reiterated it. I'm going to reiterate what I said earlier, and that is, how can you help the person you're going to talk to? Because if you go to a meeting, a business meeting especially, most people sitting the other side of the desk are thinking, what can I get from this guy and or girl, and what do they want from me? And you're just thinking the reverse, or most people are thinking the reverse on the opposite side of the table. Yeah, I know what he's got. How can I get it off him in terms of a business sense? Yeah. And it doesn't it doesn't work as well as just going in there and saying to somebody, how can I help you? And they usually taken aback. It's like, well, no, I don't normally get asked that. Well, why not? Because if you tell me how I can help you, I'll then tell you how I can help you, and you'll already want to help me.
Yeah.
And that's not manipulation. That's just being nice.
Yeah.
And because you're wanting to help each other, you get tons more done. You know, you talk, people go on networking events and they're like, hello, my name's Greg. Oh, I'd like to sell you this. Here's my card. And wait, where can we meet up? Tuesday, 5 o'clock? It's like, no, just turn up there and how can I help you? They'll give you all of their information. You say, okay, I think I know someone I can pass you to.
Yeah.
And it's not about, you shouldn't be thinking about what you can gain from it, because what happens if you just think about making the connections, if you just think about supporting people, you will always get a gain.
Absolutely.
Because you know, like that meeting I had yesterday, I couldn't have asked to meet a better, more appropriate person for what I need to do. But somebody called that person in to meet me
Yeah.
because of the way I work with people. It just wouldn't have happened otherwise. And like anything else, you know, as you said, what you focus on becomes your reality.
Yeah.
How you treat people becomes your reality. So if you treat everybody well, with respect, with kindness, with a smile, with a hug, that's who you end up surrounded by.
Yeah.
If you go in there like a shark, you're going to be surrounded by sharks and you're going to get munched at some point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. How you show up in the world, and if you show up from a place of service, you'll get more of that instead of the opposite.
Yes.
I totally agree.
Yes.
Do you have any questions for me?
Wow. I don't have I answered everything you needed adequately, or do I need to explain anything further?
If you yes, you've answered everything adequately. If you thought that I had a series of questions, I didn't. I just showed up being me and thinking,
No, that's
I'm just
fine.
gonna have a chat with Greg like I've done before. This time I'm introducing other people to you, so they can see what we usually do when we meet up. And I think that is great. I think that I love that you shared how you start your day impacts your day, and the mindset, the attitude, how you show up in the world. I think there are golden nuggets in here for other people and to use and to start implementing in their life. So yeah, I've had a blast.
Wonderful. Then my job is done.
You've made an impact. Greg, thank you very much for having this chat with me. And thank you for watching, whether you're watching this live or on the replay. It was fun. Just let us know what went well today and what are you most proud of. And let me know what you thought of the golden nuggets that Greg shared. And I'm hoping to see you next time. Have a happy day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good day.